All right, so I'm doing this stream to ask for some help. Uh, I don't know what I'm doing here. And as I got up and sat down to get some work done today, yeah, that feeling just hit me of help. What am I doing? And so I reached out to a few people, checked if any of the interns were available, and nobody got back to me. So I decided to just do a live stream instead and see if there's someone out there that I don't know yet or that I didn't think of that can help me out with this. Although after I had already planned to go live, Nolan did get back to me and he sent me a poem that he had just written and said that I could read it on my stream. So that's how Nolan helped me. And I'll get back to my plea for help in a minute. But yeah, I'm going to start by just reading this. I can't make it out. It's too far away. But I know it's better. I've been the other way. Its steps are many. The only thing is high is the sun at noon. Not sure I have the will to carry this cross, let alone drag it up that thing. Too high to call a hill. And he didn't know what I was feeling. And when I said I reached out to some people, it was just like, hey, I didn't say I need help with something. But yeah, I thought that was poetic as to how I was feeling. So Fake Name says, hi, Merc, is this the 100% mentally healthy people convention? No, this is the opposite. This is the lunatic side of humanity. Welcome, Fake Name. I don't even know where the fuck I was going to go with this from there. All right, so I'll recap in case somebody new's coming across this. Hey, Grizz. Yeah, you were at work, and hi, Longstone. Don't worry, that comment that nobody responded wasn't a criticism of anybody. Obviously, it was best no one responded so that I'd come live in this fucking state, and apparently whatever's gonna happen is what's supposed to happen. Where was I? Right, so a quick recap for anyone newer. Although I was thinking of just diving in and talking to the community that's around knows what nonsense or has an idea of what nonsense I've been up to. But for anyone who doesn't, I'll start with a quick recap and then I'll dive into what I was going to talk to the community about. So I'm some fucking lunatic. The way that started is when I was 26, I got hit by a bus, and apparently I was genetically predisposed to bipolar. The black side of the family carries the madness gene, and getting hit by the bus triggered it for me. So I'm type 1 bipolar with psychotic features, and on a scale of 1 to 10 of how crazy you can be, I'm about a 9. I don't think you can be much crazier than me and survive. So I went through quite a bit of chaos, getting plunged in and out of hell. I've had complete psychotic breaks. I've been locked up against my will in mental institutions. I've spent years suicidally depressed. At first I tried to get back to normal when I went nuts, because who wants to be a fucking lunatic? And then I finally learned to accept that. Instead of trying to get back to normal, I gave up on normal and I set my standards. Like I set my goals at, I'm going to see if I can stop getting locked up in an insane asylum every time I go manic and causing all this fucking trouble for everyone and making my mom and sister cry and such. And on the other end of the polarity, that I'm going to see if I can get through this without killing myself. I'm going to see if I can ride this mortal coil till my natural death, as opposed to killing myself. And I went into isolation, and my holy guardian angel appeared to me after the first 2 years of isolation, living alone, out in the country, having my supplies dropped off to me. And after that, went through years of training under my angel and learning from reality. At first, it was a full-time job for several years just to figure out how to survive being insane. So it was a full-time job for me just to figure out all this fucking chaos inside of me. And then it got to where I realized I could survive this shit. And I'd learned that lesson that's in the thumbnail of this. It's not about you. And so I gave up on the silly nonsense I would plan for my life, and I handed it over to God. And it felt pretty clear that God was saying I was to go into this kind of isolation, to just tend my own world. And I've created my own world. I've put, there's a bubble around where I live, and it's my world inside that. I'm not a part of the real world anymore. And I told God, just look, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to get all this messianic bullshit under control, all those ideas that you know what's best for other people, or you're supposed to save the world, or any of that nonsense. I'm just going to focus on me and pursuing my own enlightenment. But I also want to be of service and follow whatever purpose it is you have for me. So I made the deal with the universe that I was just going to take care of myself. And as Peterson would say, I'm just going to clean my room and sort myself out. But if the universe wants anything from me, it'll come and ask. And that led to me doing, I suppose, like peer counseling and helping people out on a smaller, like individual basis, being active a little bit long ago in another corner of the internet. But eventually that led to my angel telling me to reach out to the person who'd originally started sorting myself out, Andrew, and offer him a little assistance, which led to me and him becoming just fucking great friends. And like sometimes him using me as a bit of a mentor, like bouncing ideas off me and, asking my advice on certain things so he could compare my perspective to his own. Which led to that when he was ready to get rid of this channel, he asked me to take it over. And by the time he was actually certain he wanted to do it, instead of just asking me, he asked me and Ryan to take this channel over. And so that's how I ended up here doing this. And since then, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to be doing on this channel. I just showed up to do whatever was asked of me. And it's led to all the nonsense that's been posted in the past year and a few months. I'm enjoying this, and it's going well, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the bigger plan. I know there's a bigger plan going on right now. I'm not going to get into it, but in my framework, it's the apocalypse right now. I've talked about that elsewhere. There's something going on. The angels have a plan, and something's being acted out through fucking all of us. We're all involved. So it's not that at a certain point I started participating in the plan. At a certain point, I realized we're all participating in the plan. I was participating when I crossed that street and got hit by the bus. I was participating when I was dragged naked and bloody in chains into an insane asylum, strapped down on a bed, handcuffed wrists and ankles, and sedated. But now I'm at the point where I know I'm participating, and other people know I'm participating too. And I don't know what I'm doing, but apparently I'm doing it well, because this is growing. And the help I've needed to do this has been there all along the way. Like at first there was Ryan there right beside me. And Ryan's still a part of the channel, although he's taking a break now, and he doesn't have the time he had during the first year of us doing the channel, and I don't think he will again have that amount of time to devote to the channel. And then Grizz stepped up to make sure that there was someone to babysit me with computer shit so that material could get put out when Ryan wasn't actively on duty. Then when Grizz needed a break, Shane and Nolan stepped up, and they're doing a good job of babysitting me and helping with technical assistance. If it wasn't for Grizz, Nolan, and Shane, none of the material, except for just the Lunatic Lives, would have been going up. The podcasts, the Zoom events, the Lunatic Patrol, that's all because of the technical assistance I've had. But it's going well, and it might be hitting like an exponential climb, and we're getting more opportunities than we're prepared to deal with. Like as a team, sorting myself out. Sorting myself out is doing better than we're prepared for. And in one sense, I'm not prepared for this at all. In another sense, I'm perfectly prepared. That role of the dog-headed man, the holy fool, this lunatic nonsense that people want from me, that I'm doing in the private sessions, that I do in the podcast recordings, or what I do at our Lunatic Patrol gatherings when we gather in a group. Like I'm good at that. I can do that. I can be Mercury. I can sing my insanity like for hours and hours, and I can participate in this dance. But when it comes to organization, to capitalizing on anything, to expanding, I don't understand fucking algorithms or marketing. We could be doing more than we're doing if I had more help. Because I don't see, it's not that I need to develop to learn how to be an organizer and a manager. That's not what I feel my angel asking me to do. I'm supposed to be doing my nonsense, and I'm I'm not controlling the outcome of this. So I'm also fine with, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. That's okay. The angels know what I'm doing. And I've let go of outcome. And for those of you who don't know, I live off disability. Like I am just a pathetic, insane loser who lives off of disability and who really can't function in the world or do anything other than whatever this nonsense is that I do on the channel. And if this is the plateau for sorting myself out, I'm fine with that. I'm not trying to force any other growth here. I'm content to live off of disability, do this, help a small number of people, but I'm noticing we're dropping balls. Things could be a little better than they are. We're missing some opportunities already, and if more keeps coming in, we'll miss more. Also, there's more potential already in the group for the community to be assisting itself more. There's enough of us here who are fucking awesome that if we can get a little more community interaction going, and just, I'm not a social media person. I'm not the person to be running our Discord, welcoming people, encouraging getting that interaction going. But anytime you get a big enough group who are rallied around that have a sense of us, a sense of tribe, we're in this together. Once you get a big enough group of that, then when one person has a problem and brings it to the group, somebody will have an answer or a partial answer or a direction for them to go. And I can see that the community could be doing more than it's doing. I couldn't really be doing more than I'm doing right now. Like there's days where I'm working like 11 hours of like actual work, private sessions or group sessions. But I'm also wasting a lot of time. Not wasting, it's productive. Sorry, wrong word. Some of my time is being used trying to figure out organizational shit, trying to get our Patreon figured out. Or we should have expanded on the ThinkSpot the minute that was going, with the way the channel started out with Peterson. And me and Ryan, I don't think Ryan has either. We haven't even looked at it. There's other things that if other people, so anyway, right. So if anyone's out there who, and this isn't for people who are already actively working on something. Like, I know there's lots of you out there networked and who are a part of this. You know you're part of this and you're doing your own thing. I'm not reaching out to those kinds of people. I'm reaching out to the, what are they called? Fucking Grizz. What are they called? The Kikumori or whatever. Like, I'm aware there's a whole bunch of people out there that don't know what the fuck to do. Like, they want to help in some way and they don't know how to help. So if you're in that position where you know it's not about you and where you're trying to be of service, but you haven't yet been given your task. And so if you've got empty time and you want to do something meaningful, and I'm not offering money here when I say we've got openings at Sorting Myself Out. Nobody on the team has made a penny yet. Like, we've had a few donations, we've made a little bit of money off of ads, but I think we're just now at the point, because Ryan had to put money into this channel. We might be at the point where Ryan was paid back and where donations coming in now can be for active things. But it has cost me a bit of money to do this channel. I haven't made a penny. And so I'm not saying there's an opportunity here for people to make money. What there is an opportunity here for is to help and do something meaningful. And I'm fine if it stays at this level, that everyone working on the channel is volunteer, nobody's making any money, and that, you know, I can live off disability and devote a lot of time. And we're lucky enough that people like Grizz and Shane and Nolan are willing to devote time to this, even though Grizz has to have a job. But at the same time, if Sorting Myself Out can turn into something bigger that starts paying employees, then the first people who will get offered paid positions are the ones who help us build it. And so there's a place here for you to build something if you want. And if it can make money one day, fine. That would be great. And the Petersonian thing, if you can capitalize on your altruistic efforts, do so you can expand them. I'm open to that possibility. But if you're interested in getting involved in volunteering, it shouldn't be because that's the goal. That's not my goal. I'm content to do it as it is now. So if you're looking for a way to be of service and do something meaningful and you have the spare time, reach out to us. I don't check the Sorting Myself Out Zero email directly. That would stress me out too much. It's a weird thing. Like, I'm taking on as much as I can, but I've got to do things in my own insane way. But Nolan's the one who checks the sorting email. However, if people do want to reach me directly, I'm taking direct messages on Discord. So if you join our Discord and you send me a message, you can contact me directly there. So I'm going to keep doing whatever the fuck nonsense it is I've been doing. Okay, and Grizz says it's hikikomori, or those that have abandoned reality and live in the digital almost exclusively, big in Japan, or at least recognized there. Yeah, so if you're one of those people wasting your life away in the digital dimension because the mainstream world has no meaning for you, I live in an alternate dimension that's full of meaning. It's not a video game. It doesn't give the dopamine kicks. But if you put effort into this dimension, you get a deeper sense of meaning coming back at you. Not those dopamine kicks and not that artificial sense of meaning because you just acquired a new magical item in a video game. But it's not about me. I didn't shape, like, what the channel is now. I didn't choose that. And I just recorded a podcast with Guy Senstock last night where I made a point at a certain place in the podcast. I pointed out that it wasn't actually me that was in control of what I was saying. It was Guy. I trusted him. He was a good guy. So I just opened. He was a good guy. I just opened right up to him. And I was just going to give an authentic, honest response to anything he asked me. And so he was in control of me. You all have been in control of what this is. Well, I mean, upper management has their plan and they give me their influence, but then it's been all of you. I mean, everyone, people who've been watching, people who've come on the channel. So it's all of you who have shaped this and who have instructed me what kind of nonsense dance you want me to do for you. I'm just along for the ride here. And we've all put together something real. It's doing something. It's alive. We're not helping millions of people, but we're helping some people. And where it goes from here isn't up to me. I'll do what I do. I'll do this nonsense. And the combination of what people ask of me and what people offer is gonna shape what this becomes. But I'm all in on this. I'll ride this out wherever it's supposed to go. And so there's a wide variety of things we could benefit from. I think there's a lot of little positions. And it might be easiest if we can divide this a little bit. And so within the actual company, sorting myself out, which so far is 5 of us. It's me, Ryan, Nolan, Shane, and Grizz. And me and Ryan are the CEOs and owners of this company. Grizz is an independent contractor, and Shane and Nolan are interns. But to become an actual part of sorting myself out, because you have access to, passwords and such, there is Ryan's the order side of this. So he's got like the contracts of whatever fucking responsibilities and confidentiality regarding, passwords and such. And so I can't just hire someone into the team by myself. But if someone passes my level of tests, that interaction with me makes me think they've got a place in the actual organization, the next step is I present that to my partner, Ryan, and there will be an interview process with him. And if you pass that stage, then you're officially part of the actual team. And I think we need 1 or 2 more people on the actual team. One thing in particular that I think our organization is missing is an organizer. Everybody on the team right now is doing specific jobs. And the closest thing to an organizer or a general manager at the moment, it used to be Ryan, but with him stepped out, that's me at the moment. And I'm the wrong fucking person to be organizing or managing anything. I need to have someone organizing and managing me. So if there's someone out there who's got a lot of time and wants to do good, and they think to themselves, well, I can't edit and I can't do a podcast and I can't give anyone therapy and I can't any of these things. I'm just a lowly office administrator. Well, I do think the team needs one person that's a manager that is just aware of the big picture, knows what each one of us are doing, and that can coordinate the team so that if I talk to someone about doing a podcast, I don't then have to go check and see which of the people have time to record it and who's going to make the thumbnail and to think when's the right time of day to upload it and all these things. Ideally, we would have one person where I could say, hey, I've got this podcast. Can you, and that person then reaches out, finds out who's going to do it. And really, we would benefit most from someone organized who can also then be managing, like me, like the whole team. And when Ryan's back on board, that if me and Ryan have a podcast with someone coming up, that person checks both with us and with whoever's the technical person who's going to be recording and editing it, that they send around the email the day before or whatever if they haven't heard from us, to make sure we all stay on task, to keep track of the projects that we forget about, and to help us coordinate within the group. So we could really use a manager up in the actual team. Now, aside from that, I've had so many fucking great people in the community asking to help in various small ways. Hey, I can help with music. Hey, I want to help you fundraise for, your new computer. Hey, I think you guys should be on ThinkSpot. I have some ideas for that. So I'm getting all these people from the community that either have some little thing they want to do or they want to add some something to what we're doing. And at the moment, I'm kind of telling everyone, yeah, like I'll get back to you on that, but I can't manage that shit. And I think what the community could really use is some sort of community organizer so that everyone at the community level, both in the ways they want to help the channel, but also I think the community could be doing a little more for each other. Like on Discord, we've got the spot where you can request support. You know, if you need prayers, if you need advice, if you need whatever, and it's been used occasionally. But I think that could be used more. And if we had some sort of organizer so that people in the community who just say like, hey, you know, I'm really good at like this kind of listening and talking, or, you know, I'm bipolar and I'm managing it pretty well. So if anyone in the community needs to talk, some peer support, or that if people want to get together and help fundraise for a project, want to help promote, want to help, whatever the fuck the community wants to do. Because we got a group of really smart fucking weirdos, and there's lots of other shit we could do for the world if we organize. So I can see that level. And I think we could use somebody who is just like a community organizer, and that the community organizer can then be a simple interface between the official group, like the official team, and all the community volunteers. So that if the community volunteers need something from the team, the community organizer can go to the team manager or to me or directly to whichever member of the team the community needs to hear from. But also that there's the reverse, that say, for instance, I don't know, Ryan's holding some event he wants to help get publicized, that we can go to the community manager or organizer and say, hey, here's something upcoming. Just let the community know. Anyone who wants to help spread the word in the Colorado area about this. And ideally, we would also do that for all the community members as well. So that if a community member's got some big project they're doing or their own YouTube channel, they can come to the community group and say, hey, I'm doing this. Anyone who's interested in helping me get the word out on Facebook or Twitter or whatever the fuck you kids use these days. I think with a community organizer, a lot more good could come from the community level, where people can participate without having to go through the fucking interview process or be like an official part of the team. And then like a couple other specific things I'll just throw out there that possibly would be a good idea. Another thing is it would be good if somebody on the team who was wrenched on Discord wanted to be like to manage the Discord. Like, for instance, our channel now has Twitter. I've never looked at it. I've never used Twitter. I don't know what's going on with it. But the reason our channel now has a Twitter is because Nolan took that on, and that's his project. So everything about the Twitter he controls, it's his baby, and he's putting like time and energy into it. If there's someone with some extra time on their hands, especially if you're lonely and you want to interact with people, if you're good with computers and you understand Discord culture, I don't. We could use someone to organize the Discord, sort of, to enforce community guidelines, but also to be active and to get people going there. To be greeting new members, but also someone to be posting actively, because I don't post on the Discord. People will see I'm active there a lot. That's because I'm using the Discord as my interface with everyone. So when I'm booking private sessions and stuff like that, I'm doing it through Discord. That's where I'm directly available to the community. But I don't use the actual threads or whatever you call them. I don't use the actual Discord. And I think Discord would benefit from there being someone on the team that's the whole thing they do, is they're there on a regular basis. You know, whether you're on there posting inspirational shit, getting conversations going, asking how people are doing, responding when someone makes a post that they're struggling. You know, reaching out to the community. Hey, everyone, so-and-so's fucking dad just died. Anyone you know wants to reach out with support, make sure you saw that message. So if we had someone there to get to keep Discord running, I think it could go better. And I see no reason. I know there's other places podcasts and shit go up, but I don't know anything about that. I don't know how to use the internet much other than YouTube and a few things. So I know that with the exact same amount of work I'm doing, this shit could be being posted in other places, but I don't know anything about that shit. And everyone on the team's already so busy. So if there's someone who thinks they know that world and like that they want to help get this spread more places, or I don't know what the fuck's going on with ThinkSpot, but if someone else, and I don't know if that also fits in with one of the other jobs or if this is a job unto itself, but should sorting myself out be on ThinkSpot? What the fuck's going on ThinkSpot? Like if someone wanted to be in charge of sorting ThinkSpot presence, and like, because if we had someone running it, I could participate, I could help. Like I don't know, do you post videos there? Do you type, well, anyway, like I could be participate in some way on the ThinkSpot if someone's running it and comes to me and says, here's what we need from you on ThinkSpot. But left to my own, I'm not going to figure that shit out. So I think with the team we have now, no, I think we have more opportunities than we're keeping up with. If we had a bigger team, we could be putting out more content. And if I wasn't spending as much time organizing, thinking about thumbnails, description, trying to figure out Patreon and shit, I could even produce more videos to be going up. I've been ignoring the chat this whole time. Just fucking rambling. And really, I reached out to other people because I just needed to get all that out because I had it all circling in my head as I was trying to do messages. I was trying to just move on with work. And I just had all this shit circling in my head and I needed to get it out and no one else was like immediately available online. So I came on here to spill my guts here instead. So even if nobody comes, like even if nothing comes of this, that there's not some volunteer that manifests at some point because of this was helpful just to fucking calm the circus down a little bit. So I don't know if this is any good as content, but that was therapeutic's not the right word, but that was helpful for me. That helped me calm that shit down just to get it out. So now let's go back and see what the fuck everyone's been writing that whole time. Sorry, I was ignoring you. I get that way. James is here or was here because this is half an hour ago now. Yeah, is there even any point in responding to everything from half an hour ago? You still here, James? And see, I'm way up here asking you if you're still here. And even if you write it, I'm not going to see it right now. See what I mean? I'm not a good person to organize or manage things. I don't do anything the right way. Well, except being Mercury. James says, hey, Mercury, one thing you're doing, whether you know it or not, is helping me help myself. I'm sure there are other people who feel the same. Yeah. And Adna says, I was just about to ask about a recap, and then I gave one. Okay, so maybe I want to read this instead of just jumping to new, but maybe I'm going to not respond. Just try to get caught up. And then talk to the people who are actively here. Oh, wait, I'm going to respond to this. See, I don't even fucking do what I just said I was going to do. So Sarment, hi, Sarment. Seems to me you get depressed after you've uploaded a lot of videos exposing yourself. Maybe you must regulate how often you expose yourself. Okay, yeah, you're seeing something accurate there. But it's not depression because I've exposed myself. I'm fine with it being exposed. It's when I put a lot of energy into shit for a while. Like the polarity swing is I've got to go into a depression and rest a bit. And then swing back up to a lot of work. And then I've got my natural cycle and shit anyway. So this is the way I am. I surf the ups and downs and I'm fine with that. But I do need to regulate. Like I am regulating it to a certain degree, but I am allowing myself to way overwork for a while and then, crash on energy a bit. I may have to regulate myself a little more, not do fucking like actual 14-hour work days. Or then again, because in the winter, I'm going to have to slow down and rest more. is it make hay when the sun shines. Like burn bright without going too high, but burn bright, get a bunch out, crash, put myself back together, jump back up. I'm going to work it out as I go. We'll see. But possibly even just, a little more help in the team that I discussed before would also assist me to regulate myself more. Because while certain things I'm doing on the channel, I realize it's got to be me doing that. There's other things I'm doing that it wouldn't need to be me doing that. Plenty of people could be handling that task. Yeah, I've played around with Wim Hof's stuff. Yeah, the soaking in ice water and shit and breathing techniques is all fantastic stuff. Yeah, I play around with variations of that all the time. Oh yeah, so we'll just recommend everyone. Wim Hof's fucking cool. If you've never heard of him, check him out. And I know Andrew has also, experimented with some of his stuff and found it fascinating. And so has, who was it who just said all that? Adna is also backing that up. So yeah, everyone go check out Wim Hof. He's awesome. Yeah, I love you too, Sarmant. So yeah, I'm going to try to skim through this and just respond a little. And then hopefully very, very soon I will be actively responding. So those of you watching, oh, wow, we got 17. That's pretty good compared to our usual. All right, and so I'll throw out there, it helps if you give us a like. So I see there's 17 of you and only 7 thumbs. It helps the algorithm and shit. So if we could get some more thumbs up, and if anyone wants to share the video or anything, we'd really appreciate it. Hey, Pat. Okay, so here's a quote I'll read. A warrior acts as if he knows what he is doing, when in effect he knows nothing. By Carlos Castaneda. Oh, that's interesting. Grizz is laughing at me, but I don't even know what I was saying there. So, okay, read that already. James says Guy Senstock's great. Yeah, Guy Senstock's fucking awesome, and we got along so well. I'm sure I'll be doing more with him. Recorded it last night, and yeah, the team's fucking busy and overworked, but we'll get the little intros and outros on it and get it up, I don't know, within days or a week or two at the most. Okay, fake name says, is people who have jobs but 0% personal life still considered hikikomori? No, that's not a hikikomori, but that is someone who could work on the channel. So anyone who's just got a big block of time that they want to devote to doing good in the world. And yeah, like really that should be the motivation, is that your intention is to do some work for the universe, not some work to get some reward. Won't necessarily ever lead to anything. And of course, these things can. Like you'd be amazed what, and I don't even mean with our channel. You'd be amazed what sometimes volunteering anywhere can lead to in other opportunities opening up. But that shouldn't be just, if you've got extra time and you want to use it in a charitable fashion to help others, and you think that we're helping people here, then we've got spots, especially if you know computers, if you know social media, if you understand marketing or organization, we could use that kind of shit. Also, like the community's growing. We could use more people, like if you're trained in therapy or you're a psychologist, or you're like me where you're good at peer counseling. We could have a larger stable of individuals available for private sessions for people if you've got credentials and whatnot. Like, and that could even maybe be another thing at that community level, is perhaps our community organizer, we could have a level of, if you're like if you have the credentials or the abilities, like where we evaluate who actually is capable of giving whatever kinds of therapy, and to clearly labelize, to have a list of people available for private sessions. Like these people are actual, like have, are students of psychology. These people are trained in this therapy. This is a group of people where it's peer counseling. Here's someone with schizophrenia who's doing pretty well. Here's someone who used to be suicidally depressed and isn't, who's there for people. We could build up something like that as well. Or fuck it, like I don't need the fucking spotlight. If there's some other people out there who are better at this than me, if there's some people out there that sorting myself out can expand to having other content creators, and that you don't have your own platform or you don't feel like doing it in your own, but you want to contribute a little here, I'm willing to let this be whatever we all fucking make it. I just want to do as much good as we can do. Okay, Tarot for Self-Knowledge, which, by the way, is now putting out content. So everyone should go check out Tarot for Self-Knowledge. But that channel has just kindly offered, Mercury, let's do a tarot card reading to see what you're doing here. Yeah, I would take a private session with you to get some advice on all this. Or if you want to do a channel crossover here, I love the way you do your tarot readings. If you wanted to, we could have a split screen. We could do my tarot reading and I could post it on Sorting Myself Out and you could post it on Tarot for Self-Knowledge. Because I know you also like, people can get private sessions with you. So if you wanted to demonstrate what one of your private sessions are like, your channel was willing to do a channel or a card reading for my channel, we could produce some content together there for sure. Or I'd love to do it privately if you don't want to do it that way. And so, Grizz, this is probably, and I wonder, did you write this before I talked about Discord? And then I already talked about it? Or is this you following up or like saying, like, here? But so Grizz says if there's someone who cares about the community and knows Discord fairly well, yeah, that's one opening we have in Sorting Myself Out for sure. And the more we can get the organization, both at the community and the actual company level set up, the more ideas and like people will be able to bring in and branch this out like community level. Because lately I'm surprised it's going well branching out at the business level. Like Ryan's not active in the channel at the moment, but he's he's moving through school, he's pursuing some other things in life, he's making connections. And over the past couple months, I'm making more connections with other YouTube channels. I seem to be beginning to infiltrate the intellectual deep web. And so as far as networking with other communities or other companies, I see that beginning to grow. It's too much opportunity for me to handle properly already up at this level. But I also see there's an even vaster potential to expand the community level as well. And yeah, I'm not even going to go on to more things the community could do if we got organized right. Because what we need to do first is get it a little better organized. Okay, Kiprian, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but said that Obama was a community organizer, then he was president. It's a good stepping stone. That's a great point. I know Obama's not working right now, but I doubt he would want to join the team. But who knows? Obama, if you're watching this and now that you're not active in politics, you're looking to just do a little bit of good. You have experience as a community organizer, according to Cyprian, and there's no politics here. I'm Sorting Myself Out. So if you're willing to leave your politics aside and you just want to do some good and help us get things organized, well, we'd consider you. You'd have to pass my tests first, and then it would be an interview with Ryan. And Grizz says, yes, this is a great opportunity for a Soros-funded infiltrator as well. Fuck, who's Soros? I know that, but you know how chaotic my brain is. I know that should make sense to me, that name. But I'm not processing that information. Oh, okay. Okay, so Soros is responsible for all the evil in the world. So then if we got an infiltrator from him, wouldn't we want to lovingly embrace that person and give them an opportunity to heal from the evil they've been involved in? But anyway, I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now. If a Soros infiltrator applies for the job, then we'll discuss that more in depth. But until that happens, I don't need to know anything more about him. Chris says, if you have a wrench on YouTube and are on Discord, please message me. They're saying that. Okay. Yeah, so if you have one of the people with a wrench here on YouTube, which I don't know how people got wrenches. I don't have a wrench. Like when you see me on here as Mercury Black from my personal account, I don't have a wrench and I don't want one. I don't even know what exactly wrenches can do. But anyway, if you're a wrench and are on Discord, well, first of all, if you have a wrench on YouTube and you're not on Discord, join our Discord. Then reach out to Grizz. Okay, and there's some back and forth, and then Grizz says, sorry to have triggered you. I'm not as close-minded. It was a joke triggered by the Obama reference. Yeah, and here, I don't care what anyone's politics are. If you're aiming at the good, then we're all friends here. Well, and even if you're not, you're still my friend, but you obviously won't realize that, and so I won't let you disrupt my interaction with my other friends because you feel like pulling hair and spitting. But I would still love you and consider you a friend, just one that can't play in this sandbox. Oh, this just jumped. Where was I? All right, anyway, I'm going to try to... Oh, hey, James is still here. How long ago was it I asked that? So I'm getting more caught up. Sarmit's still here. Cool, thanks for sticking around. Wonder how far behind I am now. Anyway, Grizz says, as an aside, chatting, commenting, thumbs, etc. help because that's what the algorithm likes. Okay, yeah, and I don't really know any of this properly. But for anyone watching who doesn't even want to get active, like in the Discord or anything, but you have some mild desire, like, look, I won't do much, but I would push a button or two now and then to help you. So apparently, when you chat in the live chat, and so that's whether you're asking me questions or whether you guys are talking to each other. Apparently, the more live chat activity there is, the algorithm notices. The more thumbs up we get, I know Tim Pool said one of the biggest things the algorithm likes is if you share the video, you hit the share button underneath. Also, once the video's up, the more comments a video gets. The algorithm likes that. So if you support us and don't want to do more than minimal necessary to assist, liking, sharing, being subscribed to the channel, and hitting the notification bell, commenting, even if it's just like hi or fucking anything, commenting, writing in the live chat, all help us with the algorithm. So that's something anyone can do at any time by just pressing a couple buttons. Okay, so Longstone's saying that he might be able to help with organizing policy and structure stuff if needed. Okay, yeah, and at the moment, kind of people can come to us two ways. One is like, if you want to just give us some advice on how to get this going, but you're not looking to join up and fill a position. So if you're someone, because I was saying we're not looking for someone who has their own project going, who blah, blah, blah. Actually, if you're someone like that, where you're too fucking busy to be involved down the road, but you want to give us an hour of your time to help us figure out how to do this, or something like that. If you want to come in and give us a little bit of advice on how to get shit going in a certain department or whatnot, and then that you're going to go on with your own project, definitely reach out to us as well. I'm happy to take some meetings just to get some basic advice of, you know, what kind of shit we should be doing here, how we should be organizing it, or even just feedback on all the nonsense I just said on what kind of positions we have. So whether you're looking to fill a role, participate long term, or you're just very experienced at that and you want to step in short term to help us get things going, reach out to us one of various ways. So you can write to the channel at Sorting Myself Out Zero, and Nolan's the one who checks that and passes it on to whoever needs to see it. You can reach me or Shane or Grizz or Nolan all directly on our Discord if you want to give one of us specific advice. Or for instance, if you, you know, you're really good at editing or something like that, Shane and Nolan are both working on their editing skills. So, so if you see one of our team members doing something that you're an expert on, and you want to reach out to that team member directly to give them a bit of advice, like, hey, I see you've been doing this. Did you know? Or, you know, what program are you using? And that kind of shit that I don't understand. Feel free to just reach out to people on the team directly on Discord. And yeah, Grizz says, love just talking it through with you, Longstone. Let's set up a Zoom or something. So yeah, Grizz, do you mind catching that ball and let me know, like arrange with me, you and he, that we have a talk? Oh, okay. Mintos has a good point here. Let's jump into this. Just think about the young people who couldn't handle their problems and they're not here today. Every day, kids end their lives. It's so sad. Yeah, that's a real problem at the moment. And I had actually been talking to someone else, like involved in other communities, about trying to arrange a suicide support group, like the equivalent of a suicide helpline, specifically for these groups of communities, because the Bridges of Meaning community, like a month ago or something, lost a member. And I don't know how they were lost, but it made some people wonder about that. And it got a discussion going where we're like, look, whatever happened here, there are people in our communities collectively, like if we're talking about Vervakis and Vanderclays and Pajots and ours, you know, this network that's growing. Like we've got depressed people and there's support systems out there, but we can't rely on the governments to provide better mental health for our community, like mental health support. There's a lot of fucking suicidal people out there dying more and more and more. Me and Guy talked about that last night. Because of the way I got plunged into hell. I've been suicidal. I barely survived it. But it takes hundreds, if not thousands or tens of thousands of us getting planted in hell before a couple of us manage to sprout and grow a beanstalk that gets back up to heaven. It's like those of us who deal with suicidal depression are these soldiers trying to run from one trench to another across a battlefield full of fucking mines with machine guns blaring. Suicidal depression's fucking deadly. And I've made it across and I've learned what suicidal depression is and how it serves me. And I've like been through the alchemical process and phoenixed over and over again, and I've transformed into this magical nonsense you see before you. But it's like I ran along 10,000 other bipolar people, and almost all of them get mowed down before making it across. Like if you consider a cross where you've gotten the enlightenment. You know, some of us medics grab us and take us back, where it's like we don't kill ourselves, but we struggle through life. But a lot of us fucking die. And not a lot of us, or maybe more, and I'm hoping more and more and more, and maybe more than I realize, but it seems like too few of us run all the way across to the next level. I'm aware that I walked across a lot of dead bodies of fallen comrades to get here. And now that I'm on the other side, I want to help as many people as possible get across. I'm good at that. I'm a psychopomp. So if someone's watching this and you're suicidal, reach out to me. We'll do a private session. But the idea I had brainstormed with someone else was to get some more professionals from the other communities. People with who are certified to deal with people who are insane. With me being the exception, I'm not certified, but where for people from our communities, the intellectual deep web, intellectual dark web, the bridges of meaning and Vervaekis and all that shit, that for this network, we create our own suicide support system. The idea was to set up some kind of website that we can all promote, and where me and other people who are capable of doing it all volunteer, and where you'll find the list of the volunteers, where if you're suicidal and you need one-on-one counseling, and where you could either select the option of I'll take the next available counselor, or for instance, if someone's bipolar, they only want to talk to me, you can select, look, I'm suicidal, the only person I'm comfortable talking to is Mercury. Or, if we get Dr. So-and-so. And the idea would be that if we can get a bunch of volunteers, which each one isn't necessarily committing a lot of time. Like someone might say, look, I could do 1 or 2 a month. Someone else might say, hey, I could do 1 a week. And for me personally, it's at times I can do multiple ones a week. Other times I won't be able to do one for a whole month because, I'm needing to do self-care. But if we could get the list of people so that, people come on and select, and we would have it set up so if you're specifically selected, you're notified. And that then the system can give a response where I either would respond by booking a session as soon as I'm able, or if I'm not in a state to deal with that, there would be a response of, unfortunately, Mercury's unavailable until at least such and such a time. Can you please go to one of our other counselors, and then even have a list of other support systems to go to. Can you please go there to survive long enough until Mercury's back on duty? So anyway, I have talked about doing that. So that would be something that's not just sorting myself out. I'd be the representative from our community, or maybe there's other people in our community who could volunteer on that if you're credentialed to it. If you used to work on a suicide helpline type thing, or if you're a psychologist with some spare time to devote to charity, suicide support. I do know the other person I spoke to did reach out to other people and got at least one other person interested. But since then, all parties involved have been busy. We haven't gotten around. Thank you for writing that, because that's a ball I don't want to drop. And nobody else on the sorting team is involved in this yet. So one, that's something we want to do here on Sorting Myself Out, is catch some of these kids before they kill themselves. But the other is, I think our team can link up with some other teams. I'm already in work on that. And I think we can create a specific suicide support system for whatever this network of communities is. Because It's not the IDW. It's also not the ILW. And it's not either IDW, the intellectual dark web or the intellectual deep web. I'm seeing something else that connects to all of those, but isn't those. Whatever the fuck this group is, I want us all to get together. And by us, I mean other channels, like you other organizations. To get together, we need someone who's going that thing, that suicide support system is their fucking baby. And it's separate from sorting myself out, separate from bridges of meaning. But that's something I definitely want to get up and running because we're losing a lot of people every day. Grizz says basic breath work is something I haven't started, so it must actually help. Yeah, fucking breath work does a lot. Like when I was talking to Dr. Oren Amate, he pointed out that like everything else aside, the crazy Wim Hof stuff, what worked for Dr. Amate, and this is a really simple one for anyone, is okay, like often we're breathing up into our chest and whatnot. If you just completely relax your upper chest, I think also John Vervaeke might talk about this as baby breath. But anyway, you just let your stomach completely relax. Like stop, like don't hold in your gut. You know the way a toddler stands, where their belly just sticks right out and their shoulders are relaxed? It's just completely relax your shoulders and chest. Try to get those muscles total. It's hard to do while talking, but then try to breathe in just completely into your stomach as low as possible. And so that as you breathe, instead of your chest moving at all, have just your belly fill with breath and breathe out. And just breathe in and out at a steady pace, whatever's comfortable like that. And you'll probably find that calming. It regulates your system. It can slow down anxiety. Just practicing to breathe that way and then do it scientifically. Practice breathing that way and observe how you feel different breathing that way than you breathe another way. If you like the way you feel when you do baby breath or belly breath or whatever it's called, then keep doing it. If you don't like the way it feels, don't keep doing it. Or if you realize that you like that, it helps with anxiety, it helps when your brain's racing it, and other, that just no fucking, you know what to do. Just figure out how to breathe properly for yourself. Just pay attention. Try a few things out. And okay, here's what Grizz is. Okay, Della says, how late am I? Hi, Mert. Well, I don't know how long ago you wrote that. If it had been now, you're an hour and 3 minutes. You're right on time. You're always where you are when you need to be. And the neat thing about this is it's magic. The nonsense I said an hour ago still exists. So Grizz says, I'll do private sessions, but they'll have to submit a 5-minute audition tape and the vibe has to say yes when I watch it. Okay, so apparently, if you need Grizz's expertise, which he's been on the channel enough that you know who Grizz is, what you do is submit a 5-minute audition tape to him, and I'm assuming that's through Discord. And then if that piques his interest, you'll get a private session with him. Oh, wait, but Minto says it started 30 minutes ago, so am I way behind? Oh, wait, now it just jumped right to present. Let's see how far back I have to go to get where I was. Okay, I'm back up to that. But Minto says it started 30 minutes ago, and I'm at an hour now. So was that written half an hour ago? Okay. Pat saying, love yous. See you all soon. I'm here for anyone, any reason they may need me. Okay, so since you opened it up, Pat, I'm going to talk about you. Those of you who've been attending the Lunatic patrols, which it's no longer Doom Patrol we're watching, that's what just I'm going to keep calling it that. So the Lunatic Patrol is when we get together as friends and hang out on a Zoom meeting. I like to start them with watching things. and then we talk for a long time. That's Lunatic Patrol. So those of you who've been present at a couple Lunatic Patrols will surely have encountered Pat. Pat's fucking awesome. He's marked by the angels, and he's got a beautiful inner peace. I'm not saying he walks around in that state all the time, but he knows how to achieve that. He's got a beautiful way of loving life. He's got a very calm, powerful fucking presence. And so if you need some love from the universe, that's what Pat's good at giving. Like if you're lonely or whatnot, you're depressed, you're confused, you need a bit of support. You want some love from the universe. Pat knows how to channel love from the universe. Like show up to him and just be honest and authentic. If you show up and you're honest and authentic, Pat will love you. And so, and Pat's on our Discord. So I'm not sure if you reach out to him directly in a message or if you write, I assume you write out to him directly on Discord. He's offering to be there for people who need him. See, like all it took was me saying that to bring up this offer from Pat. There's other people in our community that I know are like that have gifts to give, and they would happily give them if they knew someone needed it. So we just got to get this structure set up to get that fucking flow going, and this will build. But I'm not good at building structures. Oh, fuck, my brain is tired from all that. I'm going to read quietly for a moment. I know it's horrible broadcasting to shut up, but I don't feel like stopping. I want to keep going, but I need a minute of quiet. And so let's all just take a moment of now. And then I'm going to maybe casually read through everything and then start responding again shortly. But let's experiment with our breathing. You could try the fourfold breath or the belly breath or something. Let's see what we notice. Is everything horrible for you? Or can you see that it's okay? Do you notice that now is actually just fine? If you go a little deeper, do you start to wonder if somehow now is actually perfect? Not because you're denying any of the pain or tragedy in the world, but you're starting to wonder, like, somehow, is every speck of dust in the exact right place? And is every problem exactly the problem that's supposed to exist? Is it somehow all perfect? All right. Anyone who's all blissed out but wants to keep listening, I'm starting up again. So come back. All right. Grizz says, so I assume he's talking about Soros, a guy who funds infiltrators. It's in the sentence. Yeah, we'll sacred flip anyone they send. Oh, okay. And yeah, that's what we will do with any infiltrators. Although I've done like a lot of magic around this shit. So infiltrators aren't going to come to us unless they want to be sacred flipped. You don't want to fuck around with my invisible friends. So someone who's committed to evil won't bother infiltrating us. Someone who wants to be rescued from the damage they're doing to themselves by infiltrating groups for evil purposes may come to us so we can help them heal from what they're doing. But we're not going to get attacked by anyone committed to evil because I'm not at war with evil. And you don't want to fuck around with my invisible friends. So it's much better not to poke me if you're looking to act against service to others. So Tarot for Self-Knowledge says Merc needs a Bosley. That's familiar. Wait, is that a character from Care Bears? And Grizz says, I agree. I don't even know what it is. So I don't know what it is yet. So I don't want to agree just in case. For some reason, that's making me think about like a henchman on the Care Bears. What the fuck's Bosley? Singularity says, hey man, love your work and your essence. Thank you. I love you too. I appreciate the support in the comment. It helps with the algorithm. Grizz says, engineers jump off the cliff and then start building a plane. Well, if they're quick enough to actually build the plane, that would be an impressive feat. Okay, yeah, good. You'll take care of that. So Pat's opinion is that he thinks we're here for the others as they wake up to the fact that they're not loving themselves. I agree. Singularity says, hey, Merc, have you tried Peterson's all-meat diet and its effects on mood swings? No, I have no expertise in diet, and you wouldn't want to model yourself after me, so I don't discuss diet at all. Ryan's doing a 90-day food challenge thing where people, like, he's not telling people what the right diet is, but it's to encourage people, like people to encourage each other just to stick to their own diet. I don't know how that was going, but you could check that out in our Discord and see if anyone's put that was the diet they were following. So I'm sure that anyone in our community who has tried it would be happy to give you their feedback, but I haven't. Okay, and Spencer makes a good point here. I assume this is about when I talked about the suicide support group for the like intellectual deep web communities. Definitely look into the legal liability of implementing the whole concept. And then you write, yeah, so yes, I'm aware of that, which is why it's like all I would be is one of the support staff. And I would be listed as not a doctor, but a peer volunteer. You know what I mean? But also everyone but me would be. And the purpose of me being on there is that some people want to talk directly to me because of what I'm doing on this channel. And so if you're not going to go for any help, but then for me, then, and if you're going to kill yourself anyway, then what the fuck? I might as well take a try to see if we can figure out a way for you not to do that. But yeah, no, we're fully aware that that's some like a big deal and that there's liability issues and things. So the person I was speaking with was going to look for whoever that will be their baby, but we need someone who understands all that shit and that can organize it properly. That's something much bigger than sorting myself out. And like that'll happen if the person I talk to and the person he was networking with can do it. I'm not a person who can contribute to any of that. I can just, it was my idea. And I can be one of the counselors. And I've got some ideas like that shit I rambled about, but the proper implementation of all that, the legal ramifications, what, and all, like, if they're, anyway, someone would have to manifest that is going to take over all that shit for that project to go. And so I don't know if it will or not. But if it does, you'll definitely hear about it down the road, because sorting myself out will be involved in participating with whatever that ends up being called. Hey, Shane. Minto says, how do you get people out of your head, not just temporarily, past betrayals? Yeah. Okay, Grizz is going to handle this for me. He says, find a perspective where you end up thankful. Yeah. And so instead of, because often when you're caught up on a past betrayal, it's why did they do that to me? Is the question that's somewhere in the back of your mind. Change it to why did they do it for me? And play the game of nobody was ever trying to hurt you, even when they thought they were. That all of this is a game setup where you're given the precise challenges you need to develop the abilities that you can develop. And that you're intentionally being broken in certain places so that you can be put back together as something better. And play with the idea hypothetically that one day, rather than regretting things that have been done to you, not only did you move to at one point where you were okay with all the things that have been done to you, but where that actually evolves, where you've begun to ask, why was that done for me? Oh, I needed to learn this. I needed to, it's not pleasant to get scarred or burnt or cut or burned, but scar tissue is much thicker. And maybe you needed to be stronger. Maybe you needed to learn a lesson. If you ask, why was this done for me long enough? You might end up at a place where you look back at every past betrayal, every just injustice that was done to you, and every random tragedy, and you're not even just okay with it. You're grateful and you're thankful because you say, fuck, it hurts to get put into the fire and then pulled out and hammered and plunged back into the coals and hammered, but I've become such a lovely blade that I now treasure the memory of what was once torture. And I wouldn't give it up because then I couldn't be me. So play with that and see if that happens. And yeah, Spencer, that group will, if it forms, will have people, because the other people involved in that group are going to be real people. It's not other lunatics. I was talking to somebody who's a sensible individual, who's intelligent and knows how to be a human being. Grizz says, it's where I ended up with the ones I've healed. I have no idea what anyone else's path will be. Your mileage may vary. And Pat's agreeing with absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Longstone says my timer is from when I set the countdown before the broadcast. It shouldn't be. It should have started at 0. So I've got it. To me, it looks like I've been live for 1 hour and 20 minutes right there. Is that accurate? And I'm aware that answer will be further down. Oh, hey, I'm caught up now when I scroll down, I think. Yeah, I'm caught up. So, Pat says if you're going to kill yourself, I suggest getting one of those flying squirrel suits and mastering flying off cliffs instead. Kind of kidding. Don't kill yourself. Yeah, no, don't kill yourself. But if you're actually just about to kill yourself, fuck it. See if you can learn to squirrel fly first. You might die trying, but you want it to be dead anyway. And then if you can actually master it, that'd be a cool ass thing to do. And then in a month or two, you can decide again if you still want to kill yourself. But if you have any doubt as to whether you want to kill yourself or not, call me and we'll talk about it. And again, I'm not liable for what happens to anybody. I'm not claiming to be anything more than a lunatic who has been suicidal repeatedly. But peer counseling is a valid thing. And I'm certainly qualified legally as insane. I'm on permanent disability. I am legally categorized by the government as completely insane. So if you're so lost where that's the only place you'll go for help, come here. And we'll see what we can do. But as with everything, I don't control the outcome. I just do my best. Adela says, when people don't have time for you, you are just low on their priority list. It's not the way I think of it when someone doesn't have time for me. Because to me, someone living their best life, even if that involves barely having time to speak to me, is them doing the best thing they could for me. Because we're all one. And if everyone was walking their path and living the most fulfilling life for them, like a good life, even if that meant everyone, and so if everyone suddenly was living such a good life and was so fulfilled that everyone went away, suddenly I got 0 views and no one wanted private sessions and no one showed up to parties because everyone's just out there doing good in the world, building utopia, and the golden ages come in and everyone's too busy to listen to my nonsense. That's the best thing you could do for me. Because we're all in this together. And really, I think we're all the same fucking thing. We're all waves of the same ocean. So that's the best thing everyone could do for me, is go out and live their best life. And if part of living your best life is to come have some private sessions with me, or watch my videos, or come and do a podcast, or join one of the lunatic patrol parties, then great. If that's your best life, if that's you walking your path, beautiful. Come do that for me. And come do that with me. But if what's walking your best path is to forget all about me and go do something better, then please do that for me. Because I want to see that through your eyes one day when I'm in that celestial library browsing through the Akashic record. You don't know what kind of fucking powers I have one day. Maybe my delusion that you can actually earn access to the Akashic record, where it's not just like it's written down everything that's happened. It's like you can experience it from the point of view of the person who experienced it. That's how your record's written down by the angels, where the actual experience is there preserved. I wonder, will I one day earn the right to flip through that? And will I have several eternities to explore the things that this community's done? Somewhere at a time, I may one day have earned the right, perhaps not to the entire Akashic record, but to the lives of everyone that I touched through the channel. And maybe right now, because of the way time works, somewhere outside of time, there's something else that evolved over eons from what I am now, some non-physical entity that has decided to browse what it did back when it was Mercury Black, and has access to that part of the Akashic record. And maybe I'll choose to go through and view each one. See what it was like from Pat's perspective to talk to me. And whatever else happens from here on down, whatever miraculous thing happens to Pat one day, that incredible sunset where he's sitting and thinking about the life he just saved. And he's just overjoyed experiencing heaven on earth. Or remember when James came on that one podcast? It's called We Found Heaven and Cried Because You Weren't There. James took my advice and rented a little spot out in the woods and went out and did a little bit of isolation trying to find heaven. He found it. He hit that spot, like where it says in the Gospel of St. Thomas, the kingdom of God lays before men's eyes, yet they cannot see. James found that out in the woods. It was so wonderful, like connecting to him, just even him imagining it. Perhaps if I keep playing my cards right, one day I get to go browse that in the Akashic record and to see what it was like to be James, experiencing that moment. And so maybe the best thing you do in the rest of your life coming up ahead, the best moments, maybe right now, there's already angels browsing that in the Akashic record. Maybe that's one of the ways that we're the taste buds of all creation, that we're how God explores himself. Maybe that's why the higher realms put so much energy and work into creating this dimension for us to explore. Perhaps we're their entertainment. So maybe be good to yourself, just in case that's true. Like even if you feel worthless and like you're not worth having a good life, well, what if some angel wants to watch this later? Could you give it a good show? But then don't get solipsistic. Because what if it's not just the angels and a couple lucky magicians who one day browse that? What if that's just a level of evolution, of consciousness that we're all going to reach? Or worse yet, if you're being a real asshole to people, some people who've had near-death experiences say when they did their life review, it wasn't that they experienced it all again from just their own perspective. They also experienced it, everyone else's experience of them. So possibly part of your judgment after your death is to re-experience your life, but where you experience it from everyone else's perspective. And when you think about that, then it's like, oh shit, that's heaven or hell right there. Like maybe I shouldn't behave like Hitler if what happens after this life is you experience the life of every single person you affected. And on the other hand, if you go around helping everyone, making everyone's life a little better, like what's more heaven than that, to re-experience all the joy you put out into the world? That all came from Adela writing when people don't have time for you. You're just low on their priority list. I got done with that rambling nonsense and couldn't remember how it started. It came from that, didn't it? Fuck, I'm weird. And Grizz quoted, I've become such a lovely blade. Martin says knows how to be a human being. That's cheating. Ask, why did I miss the indicators? Where are my blind spots? Yes, that's one way the person was in service to you who betrayed you, is they're pointing out to you where your blind spots are, where your weaknesses are. They stabbed you there so you would know. Like not only to heal that wound, but then to be like, oh shit, I need to be better protected. James says that was a great conversation. It really was. And okay, excellent. I don't think it's that I already cut out, but yeah, I'm going to read down to Grizz's. Longstone says, don't make someone else's life about you. Don't make yours about someone else. Even with parenthood, you need to learn how to let go. Yeah, absolutely. And like Lao Tzu points out, the way to control the entire universe is to completely let go and let it be exactly what it is. But I want to get to Grizz's comment because my brain's fucking tired now. And Spencer wrote, the kingdom of heaven is within. Yes, but as within, so without, as above, so below. Which brings us to Grizz's comment. Great stream. Thanks, Merc. Yeah, I'm tired, so I'm going to cut this off now. But I feel better. I got that. I guess I was stressing a bit. I got that out at the beginning. And then I rambled a bunch of nonsense that sometimes people enjoy listening to. So, there. Mission accomplished. So, yeah. Like, subscribe, share, join our Discord. Come back again sometime. Blessings and Lunatic, love doll.